extermination challenge. That was fun. Nice to see them do something terribly disgusting and worthy of an extermination challenge for once.
Yeah.
That's like something shit you'd see in Saw. Like, that's the kind of shit I want.
Yeah, I know. By the way, we're live. It says, please stand by.
We're live?
We are live now.
Hello, everyone. I didn't just say anything. What are you talking about? I'm a serial killer? I don't know anything.
At least it says we're live.
Hello, I'll check YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it's up. Okay.
Let me check
I think
YouTube.
the live dashboard preview is just borked.
Oh my god, I just realized what I got. Oh dear. What is that?
By the way, have we unlocked any additional extras? No.
Other than the pirate thing? No. I didn't on mine when I played it either. Not sure why.
Alrighty then. Anyways, hi everyone, welcome back to 2GaysStream.
Hello.
We're here, we're playing as Claire. By the way, hi Claire, if we see you.
Hi Claire.
What research is available? 2, 8, and 11. Today it's off to the beach to tag some cats. Check on Muffin. Hope she's okay after those tests. Seems like the professor is adding DIY to my list of duties. I've been asked to help the caretakers today. All right. Okay, I'm really curious. Let's check in on Muffin. I wanna find out about this. All right. I arrive at the lab at the usual time. As I walk through the door, the professor is standing right in front of me with a disconcerting smile on his face. Ah, Claire, perfect timing. Morning, Professor. Have you seen Muffin today? I haven't. Why do you ask? See for yourself! He steps aside, and as I enter the tent, I immediately see what he's referring to. Muffin is bounding and scurrying at breathtaking speed, sending everything in her path flying. Crikey, Professor, what on earth has gotten into her? Some time ago, we tried to test a new sample on her, but there was no response at the time. I expect that this is just a much delayed reaction to that sample. She's like a hyper kitten. Indeed. I have an assignment for you today. You want me to catch her, don't you, sir? Absolutely. We must retrieve some samples for analysis. Skin, hair, and saliva. Right, okay. The professor chuckles to himself as he wanders out of the lab. Oh dear. He's right to laugh. This isn't going to be easy. Muffin is bouncing all over the place. I stumble around for a while trying to catch her, but she's too fast. I'll have to think this strategically. Do I lure her with food or sit down and let her come to me?
I would let her sit and come to me, hopefully, but maybe at the same time, I don't know. Food? I don't know.
Good grief. This might be by chance. Lure her with food. I try the one thing that always works with Muffin. Food. I stand waiting with a handful of treats. Come on, Muffin. I've got your favorite. Muffin stops in her tracks and fixes her huge pupils onto the food. I tried to adjust my chair so that I am in a better place to be able to see, but... Anyways. She's suspicious, but she can't resist. She tentatively approaches. Suddenly, she leaps forward. I suppose she thinks she can grab the food and run back before I can catch her. She thinks wrong. After a brief tussle, I have her in my arms. She soon resigns herself to her fate. I give her some treats, and she starts purring. I collect the samples with little fuss from her and replace her in her crate. I'm preparing and cataloging the samples when I notice something peculiar. The hair sample looks brittle, like it could turn to ash in my hand. Oh. I glance up at Muffin, and she's sleeping in an unnatural starfish position, as though she corked out mid-leap. It makes me feel uneasy. I go and give her a gentle stroke. She seems perfectly fine and relaxed, but I can't help feeling she seems older than before. I think I'm getting paranoid. Oh dear. So it seems like it has a temporary anti-aging effect, and then the consumer experiences a crash. Well then, isn't that just lovely? Anyway, romance! Trixie! I hear a strange tap-tapping sound and it grinds on my brain until finally I have to go investigate. I've been taking cats all morning and the sun is high in the clear blue sky now, so it's time to take my break anyway. I decide to follow the sound. I make my way further along the beach to inspect the rocks and cliffs that run around the perimeter of the island. Tap, tap, tap. It's hard to tell if it's getting loud or if I'm just getting more consumed by it. Suddenly the tapping stops, and I hear a new sound altogether. It's a strange gurgling like the sounds of the babbling brook that runs through the deep forest, but I wouldn't be able to hear that all the way from the beach. I stand still and strain my ears, listening intently. There it is again. A short eruption of burbles. I look around suspiciously and notice a barely concealed opening in the contours of the rock. I feel compelled towards it. As I get closer, their gurgling shapes into gleeful giggles. Hello? I wait at the mouth of the cave, feeling I have been lured here, but at the same time like an intruder. Am I disturbing you? Man! Oh, Trixie's that type. Oh, Trixie, it's you. What are you doing here? I could hear you from all the way up the beach. You're a long way up base. I could ask you the same thing, man. But I wouldn't. But I won't, because I know why you're here. You were drawn to me. Drawn to life. I knew you would come sooner or later. I made it nice for your visit. Oh, Well, coming in, Humi. And she's disappeared into the darkness of the cave. Whoa! I squeeze myself in after her, and as my eyes adjust to the gloom, I am at the same time taken aback by the light. We're in a small cavern, which should be pitch black, except it's not. There's a light source that my brain can't quite understand immediately. The rocks, or at least some of them, are radiating with a warm, golden pink glow, which gives the tiny cave a peculiar ambience, almost like a trashy nightclub. Take a piece of space and make yourself at home, Humi. I sit where I've been standing, as there's not much room here. I start to take in my surroundings. Wow, Trixie, this is fantastic! All around us are different types of rocks, stones, and crystals. All different colors, sizes, and shapes. There are piles of the stuff in every nook and cranny, like a little Aladdin's cave. What exactly is this place, Trix? It's my pad. It's where I do my thing. We all need our thing, don't we? Yes, I suppose, but... What exactly is your thing? Minerals! It's more than just collecting them, though. I embrace them. You hug them? Trixie giggles. Yes, I do! But that's not what I meant. I connect with them and allow their properties to become a part of me. We combine our energies. Oh no, is that a homeopathy thing? I'm not sure I understand. Look, it's easier if I show you. The small cat begins nudging and pawing at some of the stones until she has lined them up in front of me. Here's my island family. Meet the Grand Dame. She indicates a long, slender pink stone, quite smooth and elegant. Feel her. I run my fingers over the shiny, cold surface. Remind you of anyone? A smile breaks over my face. Trixie begins to giggle. Yep, you got it. Only don't ever tell Snooty that I'm calling her grandma. Oh. Here, how about this guy? I'm presented with a large, squat chunk of rock, semi-covered with a kind of moss that gives it the appearance of having fur. As I turn it, the light picks up the color, and I see a warm, rich amber tone, almost like marmalade. It makes me laugh out loud. That really is uncanny. The Major, but in a rock. Mineral, actually. But yes, Gramps has all the qualities to lead my little family. I've already moved on to the next stone, and the resemblance is striking. It's a dirty green stone that fits very comfortably into the palm of my hand. It hasn't been polished like Snooty Booty's, so it's a bit murky looking, but there are small patches that have been rubbed clean from handling. They are breathtaking emerald, catching the light so the green sparkles refracting and dancing around the cave. I would have thought it would be green sapphire, not emerald, but well, it's probably actually a green sapphire. Those are common enough compared to emeralds anyway. It's beautiful. Yeah, naughty Uncle McMurphy can be like that, don't you find? Oh, he certainly can. His charm is very beguiling. So who's missing? No one. What about Kibbles? Take a closer look, Humi. I strain my eyes in the gloomy light to see a flat, jagged piece of stone next to Floofy Butt. And then I get it. It's a pebble. He is a pebble. We both laugh. It really does seem to capture Kibbles, but it's hard to say why. It's the energy. Everything has energy. We're all connected by it. Allow me to demonstrate. Take my paw and close your eyes. I do as instructed and hold the tiny paw in my hand, being as gentle as possible because my fingers suddenly seem fat and clumsy by comparison. What do you feel? She's warm and fragile, and I almost feel like giggling. A bit tipsy, really? Good God, the disheveled Claire face. Okay, now keep your eyes closed and hold my other paw in your other hand. When I have both of her paws, the feeling is intensified. I begin giggling out loud despite myself. I become overcome with a delicious feeling of joy. Open your eyes! I look down and see that I am only holding one of Trixie's paws. In the other hand is a small, clear crystal, completely smooth. Oh, wow. But how? It felt just like your paw, warm and furry. I know! Trixie is laughing. You're feeling the energy, this is me! Trixie indicates the crystal. Whoa, this is so cool. Thank you for letting me meet you all. I notice her face change. She looks as though she's been hurt. Oh, Trixie, what is it? Are you okay? This isn't all of us. What? There's someone else in my island family, but we don't talk about her anymore. Oh? She was the coolest sister ever, but she's not with us anymore. Oh no, the happy-go-lucky one has a death story! Oh, Trix, did she pass away? No such luck, she's being kept alive. Oh no, it's a kidnapping story! Oh dear. Oh, that's what that was in the image. Trixie nudges a small piece of stone towards me. I pick it up and look at it closely. There's thousands of specks of glitter running through it, giving it an iridescence. It looks like the night sky. I close my eyes instinctively and am immediately overwhelmed by the most intense sadness and despair. It feels as though all the pain in the world is captured in this little black gem. Gosh, Trixie, what on earth happened to her? I can't say. Not yet, anyway. She has taken the stone and hidden it before I even realize it's gone, and suddenly her mood has changed completely again. We need to get you one too, Humi. You should be mineralized, don't you think? I would be honored, Miss Trixie. You're really quite open for a scientist. It's actually a requirement that, in order to be a good scientist, you remain open-minded. Let me read your tarot. I'm a bit thrown. That came out of nowhere. I don't know about that. Not as open-minded as you like to think, then? That's not fair. I just wasn't expecting it. Come on, then. Yes or no? I imagine we have to know everything, otherwise we won't be able to succeed in dating Trixie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, fine.
We're not doing that yet, right? Or are we dating Trixie?
Yes, we're doing Trixie or Kibbles.
Alright. Was there an option yet, or no?
I am at an option.
What's the option?
I'm not comfortable with that, or I want to know everything.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to look. I mean, I assume it's I want to know everything, but...
I mean, to be fair, I personally want to know everything.
Well, yes, but it would still be better to just make sure.
Yes.
Because, you know, we fuck it up, well, then...
Don't fuck it up. If you're gonna fuck it, don't fuck it up.
I also will say, with Drag Race UK, because it's A, BBC, and B, it's airing late at night, they're getting away with a lot more. They say shit uncensored. don't fuck it up uncensored. You can see titties that would normally be flashed. That will be flashed out when it airs on Logo later.
Of course.
But it's so interesting.
Although, bear in mind, babe, that British censoring laws are time-specific. Here in the U.S., they are not.
I know, I find that so interesting.
But well, I guess, let me rephrase that. There are rules and stipulations about programs that can air at night and not.
Imagine season 3 Drag Race where Michelle Flat goes, "Those aren't breasts, these are breasts," but it would be completely uncensored here. I just find that hysterical. And it's just like,
titties!
Boobies. Anyway, Star-Crossed, which within the stars. I want to know. But I mean, we kind of knew that, but better to...
Yeah, better to be sure. Okay, why not? I played tarot once in uni. It was great fun. Oh, Humi, tarot isn't a game. Of course not. Go on then, tell me who I'm going to marry. Trixie lets out a small snicker. I don't know why, but I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. Oh, it's because Trixie probably knows how tarot actually fucking works. The Calico Cat produces a pack of cards with an intricate pattern on the back. Ooh, that's a cool deck. Where did you get it? McMurphy got it for me. He won't tell me where from. He finds the coolest things. He does. Trixie places the pack of cards on the floor, begins waving her paws over it, and lets out a strange yowling sound. Finally, she stops and fans the cards out in front of me. Okay, your turn. Close your eyes and slowly run your hands over the cards until you feel drawn to one. Touch it, lightly. Repeat until you've chosen 3 cards. I self-consciously do as I'm told, relieved that I'm not expected to make yowling noises too. I touch 3 cards, and when I open my eyes, Trixie is holding them in her paw, looking thoughtful. Very interesting. Your past is the Fool. The Lovers is in your present position. How scandalous. And you have Justice in your future. But will you be handing it out or receiving it? Very interesting. Is that good interesting or bad interesting? There's no such thing as good and bad, really. It's all just information to help you if you choose to listen to it. Okay, I'm all ears. Are you going to tell me that I'm a bit of a fool who falls in love and gets my just desserts? I notice that Trixie has become quiet and thoughtful as she studies the 3 cards. It feels like an age before she speaks. The position of this card represents your past, everything that has led you to your current situation. The Fool is all about innocence and spontaneity. It's the first card in the major arcana, and signifies beginnings. The Fool portends important decisions ahead, which may not be easy to make, and involve an element of risk for you. It is a powerful card, not to be underestimated or thrown to the wind. The next card is your current situation. The Lovers can be a misleading card because it suggests being all about romance, but actually is far more about making difficult choices. It warns you that you need to consider things very carefully, because though a positive outcome is more indicated when this card is present, it also reminds us that pain is seldom avoidable. Finally, we have our outcome card, Justice. This augurs well for you, human. It is the most karmic of the tarot cards. If you behave with integrity, loyalty, and courage, you will achieve fantastic results and gain the highest possible successes. Beware, though, that the sword cuts on both sides of the blade. If you sow the seeds of discord, you will reap disharmony in your life. There is a longish pause, and I realize she's finished my reading. Thank you. That was fantastic. You're really good. What did it mean? Oh, really, Humi? What did I say about listening? I heard every word. I just don't know what it means. Then go away and think about it. I will. I'll try. Just remember that it's all about interpretation. And listening. Interpreting the cards is listening. You need to listen to your inner voice, and to the cards will help you hear it. I have much to learn, and I'm happy to teach you, Humi. She is beaming and glowing in the strange half-light of her magical cave. The effect is quite hypnotic. Interesting. Well, I shall look forward to that. But right now, I have a date with a microscope. Soon, Humi, soon. I make my way out into the bright sunshine and take a deep breath. I'm not sure what all that was about, but I think I rather liked it. Interesting. Rest. Woo! The pirates. Well, the pirate and the one captain. I've decided to use my Sunday off to try my luck at treasure hunting. There must be untold riches in these shipwrecks that the Major hasn't got his paws on yet. Oh, McMurphy is the one who's got more treasure hunting, and they're done, I think. But, anyways, when I was a kid, I used to love mudlarking on the banks of the Thames. How different could this be? Very different. As I approach the nearest wreck, I hear the sound of hushed arguing. There are only a couple of cats I can think of who would be all the way out here at this time. I know McMurphy is relaxing near the mess tent, hoping that Mr. Marigold will take pity on him and feed him a bit of tuna. Major's asleep in the forest. I checked on him on my way here. As far as I know, none of the other cats ever bother with this place, so that leaves the elusive, quarreling captains. I decide to lie low and see if I can make out what's being said. But that's a whole crate of grog gone! If you aren't drinking it, who is? Haven't they met McMurphy? I'm offended. I wouldn't dream of touching your reserves, Captain. I'm just as flummoxed as you are. A likely story. I seen how you was when you was divvying up. When we was divvying up, you had that look in your eye. Visions of Mac looting all the grog he could carry flash before my eyes, and I'm overwhelmed with guilt. I should explain the situation to restore the peace, but I don't want to drop Mac in it either. Should I? Maybe I should take the hit? Hello, I couldn't help overhearing you. Oh no. What are you doing eavesdropping? People can lose their ears for less than that. Now, Libby, let's not scare our visitor. How are you? Well, I trust. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, but I just happened by and you were rather loud. I shall forget what I heard and go about my business. And what business would that be? Having copped out of owning up about the grog, I certainly don't fancy telling Lady Libby that I'm treasure hunting. That would go down like a lead balloon, I think quick. I'm building a sandcastle. Both cats stare at me blankly. It's a kind of game. You have to make a castle out of sand. It sounds just as idiotic to me as I hear myself say it. It's great fun. Perhaps you join me? To my surprise, both cats inch forward, and we begin to put together the most topsy-turvy sandcastle I've ever seen. And that's that. Aw, we don't get to see the results. Oh well. Let's do some reconnaissance. Today the marigolds are clearing out the lab's inventory. I should probably be there too. I might find something useful. Woot woot!
Meow.
Meow.
So many kitties.
I know my morning alarm is ringing, but I can barely lift my eyelids. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to today or dreading it. I'd promised to go in 2 hours early to help with the monthly inventory and deep cleanse of the lab. It's not the work I'm anxious about, but the fact I'm doing it with the marigolds. They're an odd pair. They certainly don't say much, interact with me much, and I quite often feel they're judging me. Oh well, the sooner I get there, the sooner it'll be over. We barely met the marigolds. Good grief.
Now we get to really meet the marigolds.
That sounds like a terrible in-laws style movie. Meet the marigolds.
And
except these are the terrible meaning pair.
And then we're gonna meet the marigolds.
Oh dear. As I approach the lab, I can hear their voices rage in stage-type whispers. They're obviously having a row that they don't want anyone else to hear. I loiter around for a few minutes to see if I can pick up any tidbits that would be helpful. I'm not nosy, I'm just curious. It's a cat, Mason, okay? A cat! All it cares about is sleeping and eating!
I mean, so do I, but...
It's still a living thing, Mora. A living thing! It's glorified vermin is what it is. You're putting us at risk. He isn't the sort of person to mess with, Mason. Loyalty to the company is the #1 priority in their eyes. I have been loyal. It's my allegiance that's changing, not my loyalty. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? Allegiance to who? A bunch of cats? Mora, you know they're not just cats. You knew when we signed our contracts. Not fully. It's different anyway in real life, living with them, knowing them. Knowing them? You know what I mean. I know if you mess this up, we'll be destitute at best. I feel I can't put this off any longer. The marigolds know. They know. And they still haven't been turned into cats.
Well, they know because they're working for them. Duh.
Good morning. Ah, you here? Oh, not late, am I? Not at all. We were just discussing how to proceed. They exchanged glances. You two can get on with the stock check. Leave the sanitization to me. Sounds good to me. Where do we begin, Mr. Marigold? Call me Mason. I have the list here, so I'll call the item. You tell me how many we have. Okay, Mason. And if I'm in your way, just let me know, Miss Marigold. Yes, I'll be sure to. Oh, we don't get to know. Oh, well, I mean, we don't get to call her Mara, but whatever. Mrs. Marigold. Yes, I'll be sure to. But if we each mind our own business, well, I'm sure it will work out fine, dear. The tension in the air is tangible. This could be a very long 2 hours. We start with the top shelf of the large metal cabinet. Standard test tubes. 20 boxes. Petri dishes, 10 boxes, mixed sizes. Beakers large, 25. Beakers medium, 20. Only 20? That's a bit low. Have we had more beakers than usual? Or breakages than usual? I decide not to tell him that I sometimes use them as tea mugs, and there are at least 3 in my tent growing mold as we speak. Really? Really, Claire? That sounds like a thing my sister did once or twice. Yes, we've all been a bit clumsy lately. I know
Sounds like something Andrew would do.
This week. Aw, babe. Nothing but trouble, them cats. Mr. Marigold continues with the stock tape, as though he didn't hear his wife. I mean, to be fair, continue onward. He's used to this sort of comments. We move on to the next shelf and the next until we've almost finished the entire inventory. We are coming to the end of the drugs cabinet. Ketamine, 50 milliliters. 8 bottles. Can't be right. It says we normally stock 30. See for yourself. 2468. Do we use a lot of that then? No, on the contrary, it's mostly used for anesthetizing. We rarely do that kind of surgery. Well, that's a mystery. Wonder what it could be used for. You two will be a lot quicker if you stick to your counting and leave the wondering up to the professor. Well, this lab assistant is also the one who probably should be wondering. We finished the rest of the job without any unnecessary chat. We all seem to be deep in our own thoughts. Mine are all about that amount of ketamine, where that amount of ketamine might be disappearing to, and for what purpose. Suddenly I don't feel too good. A bunch of anesthetics? And that's a lot of anesthetic. Anyway. Let's go on another date. Or, I don't know, is this another date per se? Oh, it's the cliffs. Come on, Humi, at this rate, you'll have to go back before we even get there. I'm not built like you, Trix. Not yet, anyway. You need to cut me some slack. These cliffs are hard going. I'm taking an extra long lunch break today to go scavenging with Trixie. Having realized I'm the only member of the family not to be represented in rock form, she's become obsessed with finding my crystallized doppelganger. I'm both flattered and unnerved at being a member of a cat family. I try not to overthink it. The catification. Can we take 5 so I can catch my breath, please? It's okay, we're here. It's just over the edge, look. Ooh. As I catch up to Trixie, I instantly see what she's referring to. As soon as my head gets above the cliff we're climbing, I'm confronted with a kind of rock basin. It's almost volcanic looking, as though something huge once fell here and left an almighty indentation. Probably did. What is this, Trixie? Jump down, it's perfectly safe. The nimble little cat made it down to the plateau with a couple of swift leaps and is looking up, as though encouraging a child into a swimming pool. It's easy, just spring up and glide down. For you, maybe, I'm a lot less cat than you might think. But as I stumble around, I find it surprisingly easy to find my footing. My legs feel springier somehow, taking me higher than I expected when I jump. The landing feels soft and sure-footed. Maybe all this island exercise is making me fitter. Bravo! Maybe you're a lot less human than you might think. When I've stopped feeling pleased with myself and taken my surroundings, I have to catch my breath. I feel as though I'm standing in a prehistoric time warp. Where are we? What is this? Haha, close your mouth, Humi! The Lucilites will get in. The what? Never mind, just get some of this and ditch dodge for the high road. Some of the expressions you use, Trix. You do make me laugh. Were you born on this island? She's calling out the rock like it's a scratch post. My parents brought me here in 1967. Okay. Right. Really? How do you remember? No, the last one told me. You mean the person who worked here before me? How did... But I'm silenced by our abrupt interruption. Thanks for all the help. I realize that I've done nothing and jump up to see what I can do, but Trix seems to have what she came here for. Take this! There's a shard of black and silver. Hold it in your hands and feel the character. Try to blend with it. I do as I'm told, but the only thing I feel is foolish. I'm not sure. Perhaps I'm not very rock-like. Mineral! Sorry. Okay, leave it. We'll have to try again elsewhere. But to be honest, human, I'm running quite low on ideas for you. I feel guilty that I'm so difficult to place, and I wonder if I should try to make it better. Should we bluff through it or admit skepticism? Bubble?
Hello, what?
Okay, we finally have a choice. Should we bluff through it or admit skepticism?
Admit skepticism.
Okie dokie. Look, I know I'm not very open to this stuff, but the truth is, it makes me feel a bit silly. It's like there's this great game, and I'm the only one who doesn't know how to play. It's not a game, Humi. It's very weird to me. I see that, and I believe that you are being totally genuine. It's just me. I'm kind of mood-eyed, I suppose. Trixie starts gurgling. Her strange little laughs cuts through the tension, and I start laughing too, more from relief that she's not angry with me than anything else. Her good humor picks me up. Look, let me have one last try, will you? Be my guest! But I really don't mind calling it a day if you want to, Humi. I would love to stop and head back to camp for a glass of cold lemonade, but I feel I owe Trixie more effort than I have been making. No, I am not placing myself in your paws. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to get me in touch with my higher self. Oh, good use of terminology, Humi. 1 brownie point already. Okay, so stand up and close your eyes. I do as I'm told. Now feel the flow of energy come from your crown chakra white light coursing through the body. Crown chakra? I'm lost already, but I tried to follow what she's suggesting. Oh dear. She's the hippie cat. Wonderful! Now slowly raise one leg and extend it behind you. Find your balance. I'm wobbling like a jelly. Good, extend your arms out in front of you, stretch right out. Now bring your right hand toward your face with your fingers splayed. What? But I'm managing to keep a straight face. That's something. Now bring your thumb to the tip of your nose. Okay. Wiggle your fingers. There's a stifled gurgling sound that can't resist opening one eye. Trixie is rolling around trying not to laugh out loud. I see myself how ridiculous I look and join in with her mirth. That was mean. Aw, Humi, I'm just trying to lighten you up a bit. The best route to enlightenment is through joyful laughter. Well, whatever Christmas cracker you read that in, it wasn't wrong. We lay on the ground for a while, soaking in the energy from the rocks, and I can honestly say I felt nothing. Reminds me of, oh, what was it from? Just that one random lady who goes and kisses someone, and then at the end just goes, I felt nothing. Don't worry, newbie, I'll channel for you until your own channels are clear. I, again, have no idea what she means, but I feel very happy about it. Oh, Trixie was a new ager before the new age. Deary, deary. Alright, research. Let's do our research. Let's hope the caretakers.
Okay.
I'm writing my journal. I've developed a habit of getting up early and writing for 30 minutes each morning before I begin my day. I'm often so tired at the end of the day that I just want to fall into bed. My journal gets neglected that way. Also, I like the way it grounds me before this strange island sucks me into the adventure of a new day. This morning, my concentration is being broken by a very odd noise, and I suddenly realize it's the sound of someone trying to knock on my tent flap. Hello? Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I recognize the voice as belonging to Mr. Marigold, Mason, the island's caretaker. Oh, good morning, Mr. Marigold. I spring up to greet him. Can I help you? I would invite you in, but I indicate the chaos of my tiny tent. Barely room to swing a cat, I know. I laugh at his joke, but I notice his deadpan expression and realize he's serious. I quickly move on, stepping outside. Is there something I can help you with? I hope so. And that would be... Mrs. Marigold is taken to her bed. Proper sick she is. So the boss said I should ask you to fill in for her today, if that's alright. I know the professor well enough by now to understand that I don't actually have a choice. I am filling in for Mrs. Marigold today, whether it's alright with me or not. Although, actually, I'm quite intrigued. Great! I mean, I'm sorry to hear your wife's poorly. Nothing serious, I hope. But I'm happy to spend some time with you, Mr. Marigold. Well, best make an early start then. You get your shoes on and I'll meet you at the jetty. Before I can say another word, he's disappeared off towards the water. I quickly put my journal back in its hidey hole and grab my backpack with the field kit in it before stuffing my feet into my trainers. When I arrive at the jetty, I see that Mr. Marigold has already started work mending the wooden rail, where a couple of the posts were damaged in a recent storm. How can I help? Just pass me those pins as I get along. Need to reinforce this? Then recoat it with preservative. I'm a bit disappointed. Just so you know, I can use a hammer too if you have a spare. We could get this mended much quicker with the two of us working on it. There's no rush. No, I suppose not. You're here with me for the whole day anyway. No, I didn't mean that. Actually, I'm pleased for the opportunity to break out a bit. Try something different. Be out of the lab for a day. Bored of this place already? He squints sideways at me. No, not at all. There's so much going on here. Haven't even begun to uncover half of what this island has to offer, I'm sure. I just meant it's nice to have the chance to get to know someone new. Company is in short supply here. Human company. He mumbles it half under his breath, and I'm not certain he even said it. I beg your pardon? You seem to be getting on with the cats, though, eh? Oh, yes. I'm spoiled for choice with feline friends. Be careful with that. I stop and look at him. He holds my gaze. What do you mean? Be careful with those pins. You're going to have them over the edge in a minute. I look down and see that, and not paying attention, I've kicked the box perilously close to the edge of the jetty. Closer to that edge than you thought? I get the feeling we're not just talking about the box of nails. Yes, I wasn't paying attention.
No, really?
Yep.
The subtlety hits you like a brick to the face.
Yes. Looking in the wrong direction, that's when we miss the things right under our nose that would cause problems. Mr. Marigold. We stop what we were doing and are standing up now, looking directly into each other's eyes.
Then they
Do you know something I ought to know? Such as? Well, obviously I don't know. I know you're an inquisitive little blighter. Have you been watching me, Mr. Marigold? Keeping an eye might be a more accurate way of putting it. Well, thank you. I think. You're welcome, but I wouldn't be so quick to trust people if I were you. You don't know me or my intentions. And suddenly he lets out a roar of laughter and gets back to work. I have a feeling you're one of the good guys, Mr. Marigold. Call me Mason. I hand him pins and we say no more, but as I go over our conversation in my head, I realize I've heard those words before, or some very like them. The nameless message on my catalog. Be careful who you trust. And it hits me. Mr. Marigold is the messenger. Holy shit! Well then. That's a discovery. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored, like magic. Goodness gracious. Let's do some reconnaissance. We can't do any new reconnaissance. Never mind. So let's
You
do some
tried.
romance instead.
You tried.
Yes. Trixie! Meow. The sun has almost set. A large orange orb so low in the sky, I feel I could reach out and touch it. Maybe this is what Trixie wanted me to see. Her whispered invite from behind the lab door this morning was a brief, "Cave, sundown, dress to distress, be there or despair." As I reach Trixie's cave, my breath is literally taken away. There are clusters of lucilites, tiny illuminated flies that look like strings of fairy lights hung all over the beach. They lead to a formation of rocks close to the water's edge, spotlit by the amber glow of the moon and surrounded by the sparkle and twinkle of more lucilites. It's magical! I call to Trixie as she emerges from her cave, dragging something in her mouth. I dash over to help her. Whatever it is, it looks too heavy for the delicate calico cat. "Oh, thank you. I'm almost done. Could you take it over to the seats?" She's indicating to the rock formation I was just admiring, and now I see it from this angle. It really does look like a seating area. In fact, the whole area looks like a stage, beautifully lit and set. When I put the cloth bundle where she wants it and untie it for her, I discover a small collection of objects that Trixie immediately sets about organizing. She's so deft and determined I can't help but see the human in her. Oh. Can I do anything? This looks fabulous, Trix. How did you manage to stage the lucilites? She laughs. Easy when you know how. They just love mana. Mana? The mana from the heaven flowers. Look! She takes a flower from a garland she's pulling from the cloth bag and punctures the bulbous center with her claw. A few drops of clear, sticky liquid ooze out, instantly attracting a tiny swarm of sparkling flies. What is it? Taste it! Go ahead, it's safe, Humi. Actually, it's delicious. Oh, it's a bit of nectar. I gingerly touch a droplet with the tip of my pinky and put it on the tip of my tongue. It's sweet and spicy, like cinnamon and honey. She's right, it's delicious. The garland is now around my neck, and I look like I'm wearing a necklace of dancing lights. Trixie has nudged a much smaller garland on her head, and the effect is stunning. You have a halo! Trixie giggles. Well, I am an angel after all. Oh my gosh, that's adorable! This stuff is good. Is there mana in this? I drink a warm, sweet nectar from a shell that Trixie has placed in my hands. Yes, amongst other things. Steady though, McMurphy helped make it. Ah, I thought I could detect the warmth of his Irish charm. Slime Murph! Oh gosh. As I drain the shell, I feel a bit lightheaded and I sit down on one of the rock seats. Oh, hello, chums. I didn't see you there. The whole of Trixie's mineral family are gathered on the other rocks. The gang's all here. This is a lovely treat, Trixie. Thank you. Oh, but the main event is only just beginning. Ahem. I would like to present for your pleasure and delectation, Mademoiselle Trixbell. I clap enthusiastically, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm having a ball anyway. And then it
drunkenness
begins.
For you.
What?
I said that's drunkenness for you.
Yeah. I was not gonna say anything because I mean it should be clear. It's liquid courage, or for some people, liquid joy. And then it crashes, or you become so happy and so happy-go-lucky that when something hits you, you become bipolar. And then it begins! Trixie has taken center stage, throws her head to the full moon, and lets out the most almighty sound. It's long and loud and weird, a strange concoction of mewing, hissing, and purring all together in a cacophony of ear-piercing caterwauling. That reminds me of the fact that when I don't know why this is I remember where this is from, but apparently in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, this will make sense in a moment, there is a scene toward the end where Simone and Lena are the cat people and they are laughing, and it is captioned as caterwauling. I know this because of the fact that Spirits recently reviewed that movie because Amanda had never seen it, and it was hysterical. And it is one of the best Scooby-Doo movies, just in general.
You're weird.
What, for liking Scooby-Doo?
No, I love Scooby-Doo. You're just weird.
Well, I mean, you should know that. My plus weird is well, it's not a 3, it's only a 2. But you know.
I mean, it's like a 20, but...
Babe, this is a fate system. You don't roll a d20, you roll two 6-sided dice.
I said I'd get 20.
Fine. For a moment I'm confused, but it's like another part of me starts to take over. A part of me that understands this awful racket, and my ears arrange that I'm hearing until it sounds like singing. Oh god. It's a ridiculous sound that you suddenly realize it's supposed to be singing. Beautiful singing. Sad and plaintive, then rising to hopeful and rousing until I'm compelled to join in. I throw back my head and let out a sound I didn't know I could make. Come on, Humi, come up here. Trixie is inviting me to join her on the stage. I'm momentarily brought back to my senses, aware of who I am, and it jolts me. What the hell am I doing out here on the beach in a night with a clouder of yowling cats? Part of me feels like I'm intruding. It's voyeuristic and I feel uncomfortable. Join me! But there's another part of me that wants to cut loose and allow myself to experience all of it. Follow feline instincts, or listen to scientific intellect? Babe.
What?
Options. Follow feline instincts or listen to scientific intellect.
I space out. Leave me alone. Can't help it.
That's fine.
I space out, damn it. Skepticism. Follow instinct.
Okay. I leap gracefully onto the platform next to Trixie. From here, the view is even more astonishing. There are cats swarming in from the rocks and the undergrowth to join us. We are all harmonizing as though we are one entity. Tails intertwine as loose lights dance around us. Trixie has begun a kind of dance, stretching and twisting her whole body. She looks elastic. I begin gyrating too, and it feels fantastic. Every muscle and sinew is malleable. I'm in total control of my entire anatomy. Before I have time to take in what it changed, I am running at full pelt, with Trixie following, and behind her a whole string of cats, all scampering in a serpentine line with me at the head. I weave around the rocks and right up to the water's edge. Then suddenly it all changes again, and we are reaching up towards the moon. Cats standing on their hind legs, front legs stretching up and swaying, as though being blown in the warm breeze. The moon melting its amber glow over us, until suddenly I feel a wave of nausea rush over me. I break from the other revelers and crawl on my hands and knees a little way up the beach. It feels less potent here, and I lay down a while and let the sounds of the yowling cat sing me to sleep. She went into the danger zone, but left. Yikes. Whoa. Date again. I don't know long, Trix. It's a busy day in the lab today. Lots of deliveries. Trixie is pulling out the corners of the cloth she's laid on the ground. I know you're a very important and humanly person, but I think you'll be pleased you gave up a bit of your time for this. She's produced a small box wrapped in a tiny paper with a ribbon around it. Or wrapped in pretty paper. I swear I can read. I was spacing out. Oh my gosh, where did you get this from? Did you wrap it yourself? There's no need to sound surprised. I thought you knew by now I'm a very clever cat. Well, open it! Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but... I tear out the paper and bows and I toss them away. Trixie leaps on them, delightedly playing cat and mouse. Come on, Humi, need help? No, it's mine. We tussle for the box playfully, and eventually I retrieve it and take off the lid. Oh, wow, Trix. It's, Quakestone! Oh, of course. It's lovely. Trixie starts to laugh. Oh, Humi, you're so funny. It's not lovely at all, but it is useful. She's right. It's not lovely. It's an ugly-looking chunk of stone, about the size of a walnut, pinkish gray, but mostly gray. Useful? Does it do something? Pick it up! I take the lump from the box and instantly feel a vibration in my hand. Whoa, that's weird. What is it? The feeling is spreading out my arm and through my torso. Can you feel it? That's the quake. It's from the danger zone. What? You went to the danger zone? Well, no, not personally, but I know someone who has. Who and how? Quakestone! It alters your energy, transforms your frequency, and it makes you in tune with the danger zone so you don't get zapped. Wait, are you saying that if I hold this, I could go into Elder Cat territory? That's right, homie. That's my gift to you. Protection. Oh. I have 100 questions competing to be asked, but I know I have to get back to the lab. Trixie, you're an angel. Let's meet up another time to discuss where you got this and how to use it. Ooh. Yes, new unlocks, Recon 17.
Yay! Yes! Meow meow meow.
Yes, unlocks.
Yes! Meow.
Meow. Recon. We are completing this one in record time.
I
The
know.
stone that Trixie found
So we
is...
need to not go as fast.
Well, babe.
We'll be done with the whole game at this point.
Ugh. We still have 2 more people after this one.
I mean...
Anyway, the stone that Trixie found is fascinating. I just got to take a closer look at it. Babe, I'm just tearing through this game because I like it.
What?
Like I said, I'm just tearing through this game because I really like it and I like the story in it.
I guess.
The professor is away on an overnight trip to the mainland, so I've got the lab to myself for a while. I've been running tests on the quake stone that Trixie gave me for hours now, and I'm no closer to understanding how it works. It emits a constant pulse, but I can't figure out where the energy needed to generate the vibration is coming from. Looking at it under the microscope, the structure seems less like a gem and more organic? Excuse me. Excuse me. It looks like very smooth, interlocking scales which move and shift very slowly. It's as if the rock breathes. I sit back and try to clear my head. I wonder. An idea has been half forming at the back of my mind all day, and now it's loud and clear. I need to go to the Elder Cat's territory and see if I can't join some of the dots up in situ. I decide it would be foolhardy to head to the danger zone alone, so I alert McMurphy to my plan and he agrees to meet me there. Ah, I thought Trixie would go, but okay, we'll meet with McMurphy. I throw a few things that I think could come in handy into my backpack and set off, swinging by Zane briefly to let him know I'm out of the grounds for a couple of hours. He's on his seat down by the water's edge. Hi, Zane. Waiting for the supply boat? He doesn't bother to look up from his paper. No, that's not till tomorrow to bring the professor back. Ah, okay. Just catching some rays then, eh? He carries on looking at his paper and doesn't respond. Well, just wanted to let you know I'm going on a field trip today. Now he shows an interest. Aren't you meant to stay in camp when the professor is away, in case something happens to one of the cats? Yes, strictly speaking, but everyone is doing fine, and I only intend to be gone for an hour or 2. You can cope, can't you? It's not a question of me coping, it's a question of you breaking the rules. My heart sinks, but if it's important, then I expect you have to do what you think is right. I'm taken aback. I get the feeling he's giving me his blessing without saying it. Thanks, Zane. Wise words. I turn to head back up the jetty path, but it might be a good idea to let me know where you're going, just in case. They're all fine, I promise you. My concern was for you. Oh, Zane, I'm touched, but I'll be fine too. Thanks for caring. Even so. I feel under pressure to tell him where I'm going, but I'm worried he'll stop me. I decide to come clean and hope for the best. Heading up to the other end of the island. To the danger zone? Elder territory, yes. Be careful then. I will be. And I get away before he can change his mind. I wonder why he was so easy about going. So easygoing about me sneaking off to the danger zone while the professor is away? Maybe Zane's not so bad after all. Or maybe he's the kind of bad that has been to the danger zone. Who knows? I don't see any sign of McMurphy. We said we meet here on the border of the danger zone. I'm squeezing the quakestone in my hand and can feel the vibration gently pulsing up my arm. Just as about to venture forward alone, I hear a friendly whistle. Murph! Were you missing me, Carter? I was giving up on you, to be honest. Ah, that's not nice. You should never give up on a buddy. Well, I'm glad you're here. I don't mind admitting I'm a bit nervous. Here, let me put this around your neck. I made a collar for him by drilling a piece. into a piece of the quake stone and threading some twine through it. I don't want either of us to upset the elders. We need all the protection we can get, although I'm not sure this will even work. It's a big risk. Come on then, stay close to me. And you to me, Kata. And you to me. I can hear the amusement in his voice as he springs ahead of me and crosses the line into the danger zone. For a split second, I hesitate. I want to see if anything happens to McMurphy. If something does happen, I want to be able to get help. Not making me your cannon fodder, are you, Kata? Just watching your back, Murph. And with one large step forward, I'm over the line. I stand still for a moment to feel the difference. And there isn't any. I feel exactly the same pulsing coming from the quake stone. Only now it seems to be all around me. It begins to tingle. Can you feel that? I most certainly can, and a most beautiful thing it is. He's right. It feels very relaxing without being drowsy. My mind is super alert, and I feel much more energized than I did even a few minutes previously. There's some elders over to the right. They must be able to see us, but they don't seem to be bothered by us being this close. As I take in my surroundings, I notice that there are large rocks that all appear to be made of quake stone. We skirt around the edge of the area, keeping as low a profile as possible. I can't believe we're doing this. Oh, Kata, I wish I could show you your face. Why? Because you're grinning from ear to ear. You look like the Cheshire Cat. Maybe we've gone through the looking glass. Then I see a huge obelisk-type stone, which most of the elder cats are sitting around. Ooh. Why does that look more like a dog than a cat? What do you think, Mac? Quakestone? Has to be. Look how serene they all are. They are completely calm. Some of them are looking at us, but don't seem to mind in the least bit. But don't seem in the least bit bothered. There is no aggression in these animals. They are in total harmony with each other and their surroundings. Come on, Mac. Let's leave them in peace. We move back to where we came in and gather some of the lumps of stone to take back with us. I can see why they like it here so much. Okay, you. Let's get this off your neck. You'll be turning elder if I'm not careful. We walk back mostly in silence. It's a nice silence. Contented. Interesting. Well, now we have the Quakestone, so now future endeavors will allow us to adventure into there. Now we rest. You had a lovely nap. You had a lovely nap and feel revitalized. Your energy has been restored like magic. Romance. Bad romance. I want your loving and I want your revenge. Alright, I've been following a familiar sound along the shoreline. I can't see Trixie yet, but I know that plaintive song anywhere. It leads me to her cave. Trixie, can I come in? Wait a minute. I hear a flurry of activity, shuffling and liquid being poured. Trixie, are you nearly ready? It's freezing out here. As soon as the sun goes down, this island becomes ridiculously cold. Come in. Her voice is slow and sing-song. The cave is warm and welcoming. There are flower petals scattered on the ground, and little jars of lucite in every corner. Trixie is stretched out on a rock as though she hasn't moved. Hello, you. Long time no see. Hello, Humi. I wondered when you'd showed up. As soon as you invited me, actually. She ignores me and indicates a jar of amber liquid. Help yourself. She's in one of those moods, and I take a sip of the mana juice and make a note to go easy on it this time, remembering how potent it is, because it's filled with booze and nectar. Whew. I wonder if there's any cactus juice in that. Sokka would enjoy that. Anyway. So, how's Trix? Great! You've not been around for a few days. She doesn't respond. I thought you were avoiding me. I force a laugh, but now I'm beginning to think I was right. Have I upset you, Trixie? Well, in a way I suppose you have. Oh, I was kidding, but tell me, what did I... She cuts across me. I don't mean to be rude, but would you mind just shutting up and letting me talk for a while? Oh, of course. I'm a little anxious about what's coming, but I do as I'm told and sit in silence. Life. She pauses and smiles. I'm not sure if I should respond, so I just smile back. Life is great and all, but sometimes it's not as great as you try to pretend it is. You get so used to making the best of it that you stop being aware that it's only silver, or sometimes even bronze. I mean, nothing to complain about, but then something happens that is so gold and so platinum-plated rose gold that the fabulosity of it catches up to you like a twister, turns everything upside down and inside out so that you're flying and dancing against your will. You're powerless and powerful, and silver will never be good enough again. Do you know what I mean? I open my mouth, but she plows on without waiting for an answer. I feel it now. The fizzing in my tummy, the fluttering in my heart. I am champagne, popping and sparkling, lightheaded and silly. Am I silly? I feel very certain and not silly at all, but I can't stop giggling and my eyes are weepy all the time. I know what I want in my heart, but I can't connect it to my head. I feel happy. Truly happy. Ah, Trixie's happy face. Not before happy, which wasn't really like being happy at all, but 24-karat happy, and nothing less will do. There's a long pause. I look down and see that my glass is empty, and I suddenly feel a bit woozy. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. Your turn. I'm not very good at speeches, and I don't think I can match yours. A simple answer will do. Soulmates don't come along every day, Humi. We have a chance here to take a leap and see where the adventure takes us, or forever wonder what we missed. Take a fucking leap! Of course I'm in! Together forever! Let the adventures begin! And Trixie and I began to laugh, and laugh, until we're rolling around on the ground so that anyone who saw us would think we were a couple of crazy intoxicated cats. Which, maybe, they are. Relationship goals, Trixie! Woo! Achievement get. Aw, that's sweet. And now, the last research. Yes, I'm ready. Today it's off to the beach to tag some cats. Here, kitty kitty. I put on tag and scan rotation. The sun is beginning to set and the beach is cooler. This is hunting time, so in theory, more cats will be drawn out from their hidey holes. The other time for tagging is midday, when they're at their laziness, but I find the heat too intense to come to this part of the island at that time. Something catches my eye and leads me into the forest. Ooh, here, kitty. Just me. Oh, hi, Kibbles. How's it going? Define it. Oh, what's that thing? Kibbles is already eyeing my chipping pen. Looks like a weapon. Is it a weapon? No! Well, kind of. Do you want me to show you how it works? Kibbles gives me an exasperated look. How dumb do you think I am, Human?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Look, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you just let me use this thing on you. Oh, yeah? Yes, I don't think I can actually tag you twice, and I need all the practice I can get. Well then, catch me if you can. I hear it, yeah, echo through the forest as Kibbles seems to disappear before my very eyes. Impressive, how did you do that? Kibbles, come back! I won't shoot you, okay? I'll even let you have a go if you can show me how you disappeared so fast. He won't come back now. The new voice startles me. He's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. I turn to see a mid-sized brown-haired cat scratching the trunk of a tree. Oh, hello. I don't think we met before. My name's... I know who you are, Turntail. The island is buzzing with news about you. Turntail? What does that mean? I realize I'm going to have to scan her. Kibbles leaps from nowhere and pins the new cat to the floor. Shoot her! Nyahaha! Oh, sorry. This won't hurt. It's for your own good. It's so we can make sure you stay safe and healthy, and I seize my opportunity and move fast. I've already grabbed the scruff of her neck, but before I finish speaking, I pressed the pen between her shoulder blades and released the microchip. They're all done. Wasn't so bad, was it? Whoa, awesome. Can I shoot the next one? I doubt that, Kibbles. I wiggle my thumbs in this direction. Oh man, I gotta get me some of those. Can I get up now? I had things to do. Kibbles. He remains pinned to the other cat. I reach for the spray bottle in my pocket and he leaps away with a laugh. Off you go then to do your things. Anything I can help you with? No, just duties. Duties, duties, duties. Must get everything done. Okay. I'm gonna have to enter data for you in this catalog. How about we call you B? B? Because you're so busy? Busy Bee. Look, Bee, it would be good if I could get you to come to the camp to check you over and take a note of your details. If you want to drop by when you're free, that would be great. Otherwise, I'll have to come back with the cat carrier. Not so great. I'll come by. I know the place. The cat slinks off. Do you know her, Kibbs? Kibbles emerges from his hiding place in a tree. Yeah, I know her. Is she okay? She seems a bit unhappy. Oh, she's fine. She's just like you is all. Like me? What do you mean? You're the scientist. You work it out. And Kibbles vanishes again. Huh. I've come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now, it's been easy to cover up my transition. I just had to keep on top of removing the excess body hair. Even the stub of a tail that appeared a few days ago hasn't been a problem. Who'd see it? But this development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical splits? I can't risk anyone seeing me like this, so I'm going to hide out for a while and see what happens. As per usual. Aww, white kitty. Snow White. Is that a red nose? Aw, I'm exhausted. Can we stop for a second to catch our breath? You're an old cat. We've only been dancing for an hour. Oh, Trixie. You dance. I'll watch. And she giggles and dances while I recline against a rock in the evening sun, cooler and still deliciously warm. How did I get to be so lucky? I look back to when I thought having the virus was the worst thing imaginable, and it makes me smile. The day I decided to throw in the towel and allow myself to become a cat was the first day of a life beyond my wildest dreams. Why would anyone want an antidote? Being a cat is amazing. Being with Trixie is even better. I lazily stretch and slowly fall into a nap. Trix settles beside me, and the two of us curled up. Our bliss is only briefly disturbed by the familiar sound of the ferry arriving at the pier. It seems my replacement has already arrived. They'll never look here, though. We know exactly where to stay safe. I wonder if they'll be as fortunate as me. Who knows? In a relationship with Trixie. Ending achieved, written in the stars. Aw, how sweet. Alright. 38.5% of the total game seen. 4 of 8 and 18 endings found.
Yep.
Wow. We're still only gonna go for 6 total, and they're all the perfect ones. So
Yep.
all that's left is this person and this person. So we have, we were gonna do Noe and Chesty, right?
I think so, yeah.
Alright. Let's do Chesty this time. As I step off the boat and onto Cat Island. I'm full of anticipation for what my first day will bring. 8 hours, 1 journal, and a wild cat chase later. So apparently this first day brings physical assault and the biggest trauma of my life. Good grief. Every time. Oh, is it awake? Human, we need to talk to you. Save it, I know how this goes, floofy bum. Blah, blah, catification, blah, blah, evasive answers, blah, blah, antidote, and basically you need my help. Did I miss anything? No, not really. Wow, you really did read that journal from back to front, didn't you? Front to back. Yeah, so you're going to help us or not? Help the kitties, of course. Fine, I'll help whatever. See you after my day job. Good grief. Poor jaded researcher. Oh. I return to the camp, feeling a bit less grumpy. I'm just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalog beeps. A message without any contact information. Snitches get stitches. Who the hell? Someone needs to take that phone away from Mr. Marigold. Ha ha ha, now we know who it is! The rest of the day is uneventful, just working in the lab with the professor. I cannot wait to start unpicking this mystery. I suppose the cats are my starting point. They must know more than they're letting on. I intend to get to the heart of each of them to see what secrets they may hold. Well, you may tunnel a little bit further into the heart than you might expect. What are the romance options this time around? Ravenpaw is still locked, so... Kibbles. Anyway, let's see, what researches
will be
are...
for the last person.
What?
Ravenpaw will be for the last person.
Okay, yeah. Right now, all we have is research 13, checking vitals. Time to check on some of our test subjects. Nothing fancy, just a routine checkup. Well, I doubt it will be that routine. My chair is also incredibly creaky. I need to use like some WD-40 or do some bolt tightening or something on this thing. It's already become extremely creaky. From the start, it was kind of creaky, but like, I thought that would at least help itself, or like stop being so bad. Now it seems to have only gotten worse, which, you know, not great. I guess it's what I get for getting a racer-style chair for utterly cheap. I'm spending the day examining the cats to make sure they're in good shape. Muffin is a little grumpy today, presumably because she's an old lady and she's just been woken up, but otherwise she's doing well. As for a replacer in her crate, I can't resist doing the human cat equivalent calculation. She's 18, so if one feline year equals 7 human years, that makes her the grand old age of 126. I know it's nonsense, but impressive anyway. Smokey is being quite vocal this morning, so I grab him next. His hair is a lot more luscious than it used to be. I can't help but run my hand through it. Although it's no longer growing, I can feel how thick it is. Apart from that happy consequence, there doesn't seem to be any other side effects from the drug we tried on him, which is a relief. Further examination shows him to be very healthy indeed, a little bigger and heavier than last time I weighed him. All his other vitals are within normal, acceptable range. I give him a small treat, and he plods off happily. Who's next, then? I suppose I have a free minute. I'm startled by the voice and turn to see the quiet chocolate brown cat from the forest has entered without me noticing. Oh, B, you came. Well, I was invited. Of course. Will you let me check you over? I'd like to have update your details on the catalog. Okay. She leaps onto the counter gracefully, and I begin the examination. You're in very good condition, aren't you? If you say so, Turntail. Why do you call me that? She ignores the question. Turntail means coward, doesn't it? The journal at the last assistant left says that you called them Turntail too. I've read all about it. What did we do to deserve being called cowards? You tell me. She looks almost sad. Well, I've racked my brains since you first said it, and I really can't imagine. I continue taking your vitals, keeping myself busy to ease the tension between us. You're taking too long. I removed the stethoscope from one of my ears. I'm sorry, B. Are you in a rush to get somewhere? I can't quite hide the sarcasm in my voice. Not this. I mean you joining the dots, working it out. Working what out? The connection. I wait to understand. Between us! She's becoming more irritated with me, so I try to pull back by being ultra calm. And what would that be? It's like a red brag to a bull. Well, clearly not our IQ, mastermind. Oh my god. Oh, poor cat. I feel stung. I can't understand why she's so upset with me. There's an awkward silence while I finish checking her over. Sorry. Her voice is no more than a whisper. I beg your pardon? It's not your fault. I just get so frustrated. Whenever there's a glimmer of hope, it's snuffed out before any progress is made. Although I don't understand, I don't want to interrupt her. She looks so earnest. I've been patient for so long. I'm beginning to forget. Forget what? Time is so... It's so... We mustn't waste it. She looks so small and lost. Look, B, I'm really sorry if I did or said anything to get us off on the wrong foot. I think it would be a real shame for us not to get along. We could be good allies. Important. Huh? The word I lost. Time is important. Yes, it is. Maybe we can agree. Maybe you and I could sit down together and talk about that a little more. Maybe we could. B leaps off the examination table and saunters towards the door. I'll let you know, Turntail. She's gone before I can reply. Huh. Yes! New unlocks! Research 10!
Yes, meow.
Wow. Alright. What recon do we have? 5. The professor's laptop probably has all kinds of interesting files on it. Luckily for me, there's a certain white-haired nerd who says he can hack it for me. Ooh. The professor keeps all the data on a closed network. I have clearance to access a few files, but most of the info is encrypted and inaccessible to anyone but the professor himself. Good thing, then, that he left his laptop unattended before going on a trip to the mainland. He's gone to collect some specific components for some of the experiments we're running soon, or so he says, and I am holding that in the fort. When I open it, I see that his laptop is running the same technology as the catalog. As the catalog, I imagine is what they meant to say. It's the only working computer that I've seen on the island. It's password protected, of course, as I expected. But that's not a problem because I have a trick up my sleeve. Kibbles, come over here. Work your magic. Kibbles has been playing with what looks like a rubber band under the professor's desk. He leaps up and stares at the screen with huge black pupils. It's a Unix system. I know this. Okay, so you'll have to use an OS exploit and a pen drive to boot straight to desktop. I know how this works. You just sort of have to bypass security. You know, just have access to the ports. Okay, slow down. I'm not good with this stuff. After some fiddling and impatient instructions from Kibbles, we reach the desktop. The professor's desktop background is a picture of him surrounded by cats. It should look cute, but it looks strangely unnatural. We search for the files. Kibbles says we can get past the authentication process, but we still need to figure out how to decrypt them. He sets a process going to try and work out the encryption key. While that's working in the background, I have a look around the rest of the computer to see what else I can find. I find a folder with pictures of all the cats in it. They look like they were taken from a distance with a powerful zoom lens. Caught me mid-sneeze, not very professional. Why do you think he has these photos? Well, I don't think he took them. He's only interested in cats as research subjects. Really? Then how do you explain this desktop background? Done now. The computer makes a noise. The program has finished trying to decrypt the files. Ugh. What is it? I couldn't get past the encryption. We can only get access to one file and it's an old one. Oh. You probably need to run it and set it to ignore that file, if you can. Who knows? Or maybe you're just a bit rusty. Could be a different sort of encryption than what you're used to. I look at what he's referring to. Oh, but it's a good one. Yeah? What's it say? I read the document out loud. Observations on Project Felix. Day 74. Subject's ears are becoming pointed. Hearing range has extended to 60 kilohertz. Subject appears to be developing a reflective layer beyond the retina. Eyesight in darkness has improved by 50% since last measured. Subject's field of view has expanded to approximately 200 degrees. Oof. Body hair is becoming more dense. Longer ears around the mouth and eyebrows have begun to grow faster and appear to carry sensory information. Attempts to reverse the changes have so far proved fruitless. Tomorrow we will carry out further invasive procedures. Day 75. Administered a combination of aminoglycosides, glucose, and the chemical extracted from the feral cat's adrenal glands. Initial results are promising. Subject appears to be in acute pain at all times. Day 76. Subject has perished overnight due to sudden heart failure.
No.
Oof. Well, potentially as a result of increased stress.
No.
Also, most likely due to the fact that you pumped them full of adrenaline. Post-mortem to be carried out at 1700 hours. Wow, that's dark. Did I just give Kibbles the same voice as Popper? Wow, that's dark. Yes, it is. Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing you never told the professor you're catified. I nod and download the file to the pen drive as Kibbles instructed. I close the laptop. That's enough for one day, I think. Yikes. Recon 1. Okay. Let's do some romance. Kibbles! My chair is so goddamn creaky. This chair isn't even that old. I'm out in the forest, looking for some shade in a place where I won't be disturbed. I need to be relaxed when I finally read the precious contents of the envelope I'm carrying. It feels like I've waited an age for this moment. Eventually, I find a clearing with a moss-covered tree stump that looks comfortable enough. I have a quick check around to satisfy myself that I'm alone before I take a seat and slowly unpeel the flap of the brown wrapper and pull it out. My issue of Kanashi Boy. Oh my. It's a treat to get some quiet manga reading time to myself. I'm just starting to get into it when I hear a rustling sound coming from the nearby bushes. It's not the sort of sound the wind makes when it ruffles the leaves. It's more deliberate than that. I look over towards the bush and the noise stops abruptly. Almost as soon as I resume reading, it starts again. I try to ignore it and continue with my comic, but it's very intrusive. I feel like I'm being watched. Who's there? The rustling gets louder. Hello? I inch my way towards the source of the sound, nervously holding my breath. I reach out my arm to pull aside the branches when something bursts out of the bush and knocks me sideways. Kibbles! What on earth are you doing? Are you spying on me? He picks himself up from the ground, desperately trying to style it out. Oh, you're here? I hadn't noticed. I was just looking for something. In a bush? Yeah, I left my... Kibbles looks around frantically for something. He locks eyes on an unremarkable-looking flat pebble and picks it up triumphantly. My pebble! I left my pebble in this bush. Found it now. Good. I'd hate to think what would happen if you lost that. Yeah. Anyway, what are you doing? Reading. I hold up the comic book, emphasizing the obvious. Yeah, I thought so. You're very observant, Kibbles. So, is that Kanashi Boy? What? I'm taken aback. Yes, actually it is. Do you know it? And more to the point, how do you know it? Yeah, looks like issue 8. That's right! Now I'm impressed as well as amazed. Kibbles, how on earth do you know? Questions are flooding in my brain, but I know I need to play this cool. I don't want him shutting me out. That's an old issue. It looks like he has no intention of answering my questions, so I try a different tack. I'm a little behind, so I bought a couple of back issues with me before to bring up to date. So which version are you reading? Version, I'm not sure. It's probably the inferior American translation. You really have to get the original Japanese or the European versions to get all the nuance. Oh? It's impossible to truly understand the depth of Fumiyoshi and Hara's relationship in the version you've got. You're a proper fan, then? Could say that, I guess. I'd love to pick your brain sometime. What do you want to know? Does the original version explain how they were able to enter the third chamber together when Chisato gets turned into a hog? Oh yeah, that's because she passed through the gate without Isoa's approval. Oh, right, that would make sense. That bit was cut for some reason. The American version they're selling these days is plebeian trash. Well, I like it. Any serious Kanashi Boy fan would track down the European translation. I'm not sure, but I don't think I'd be able to get those delivered here. I guess I'll have to make do with the trash version. I'd rather read something else than read that inferior rag. Fair enough. I'm still enjoying this. I took to go back to reading my trash before Kibble suddenly springs forward, grabs a comic from out of my hands and runs off into the undergrowth. Hey! Kibbles, bring that back! But he's gone. I wait for a while, not quite believing what he just did. After a few minutes, I lose hope that it'll return and start packing away my things to head back to camp. Just as I start walking away, Kibbles comes crashing back through the bush. Oh, there you are. What was that all about? I got you something. That's when I notice he's holding a copy of Kanashi Boy issue 8, but it's not my copy. This one is in a pristine plastic cover. It looks new. Here, this is my copy. The European translation? Original Japanese, actually. Wow, but how do you understand it? Don't tell me you speak Japanese. Sam, look, I made my own translation. There are pieces of paper tucked in between the pages with scrawled writing on them. How did you manage that? One of the ones before you, she helped me translate it. One of the ones before me? What does that mean, a previous assistant? Want to read this or not? I'm far more interested in what he's just said. You said helps. Kibbles is looking at the cover of Kanashi Boy, but I sense he's pretending to be preoccupied. He's clearly said more than he intended to, and now he's distancing himself from it. Oh, great. All the previous lab techs don't want to be involved with the current ones. Go figure. I bet it's Chunkers. That would suggest they're still here? Where does the circle end? Well, duh, of course they're still there. They became a cat! I'm annoyed that he's obviously trying to change the subject. It's a simple question, human. I wondered if I push him too far, he'll disappear into the bushes, so I decide to play along for now. Where does the circle end? He's watching me intently, and I get the feeling this is some kind of test. The circle ends where it began, probably? He looks delighted. Oh, cool, you've read it. Read what? Sakaru! I'm sorry, I don't know that one. But you gave the right answer. I have no idea what you're talking about now. Sakaru by Heshi Ketsuiki. You haven't read it? Afraid not. Is it good? Only the best in the genre! Which is... Guro, naturally. And Guro means... Gore, of course! Of course. Oh, great. I wasn't aware that gore was a whole genre. Oh, it is. There's, of course, other stuff that extends beyond just gore. But if it's, you know, gore, glory, whatever, yeah. I realize that I'm a bit out of my depth here. I can lend it to you. I have a copy here. Kibbles looks like he's about to dive back into the bushes. Whoa, hang on a minute. That sounds really interesting, but I'm in the middle of Kanashi Boy. So, ditch that and start this. You won't regret it. Oh boy, we have a choice, babe. Read Sakaru or stick to Kanashi Boy.
What do you think we should do?
Probably read Sakaru.
Yes, so do that.
Well, normally I would finish the series I'm on before starting another, but you've got me interested in Sakaru, I must say. Wait right here! And he's gone before I can open my mouth. I'm starting to get used to this routine, so I wait patiently. He's back within seconds. That was quick. Where do you keep this stuff? I could tell you, but... Then you'd have to kill me? Whoa, slow down, JJ. It's a bit too soon to be finishing each other's sentences. JJ? Jesse James! McMurphy told me all about him. Fastest straw in the Wild West. And suddenly he's leaping around with pretend paw guns, pew-pewing until he's been shot and acts out an elaborate staggerfall death scenario. Then he's back up on his feet in a heartbeat, pointing at the comic he's placed in my hands. Oh, Kibbles. So dramatic. Yeah, it's universally agreed that it's the grossest manga out there. Kibbles grins as though it's a positive thing. I look at the glossy black cover and feel my interest peak. This doesn't look like the sort of thing I'd usually pick up at the comics shop, but I'm certainly intrigued. Agreed! You're gonna love the bit where Kira's mom stabs out her own eyes because... Kibbles, spoilers! Oh, who cares about spoilers? It feels totally different when you see it with the artwork. I don't want you to tell me any part of the story, Kibbles. It doesn't matter if it feels different. Okay, but just remember one thing. Kibbles, this is a spoiler. I'm very upset. The circle ends back where it began. Kibbles! I can't tell if that was an actual spoiler, but I still feel indignant. He holds it to his paws defensively. What? You said it yourself! That was a lucky guess. What does it mean anyway? It's a secret password for Sakaru fans to help identify each other. The mangaka made it up himself. Like the Mason's secret handshake? Yeah, probably. You don't know what the Masons are, do you, Kibbles? It's like a boy band or something? Close enough! Okay, that's good. Should we make our own secret handshake? You know, in case someone tries to infiltrate our manga club? Good idea, Kibs. We don't want anyone getting their mitts on our intelligence. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if you could hold out your hand in a fist formation, I do this. Kibbles has split his claws out as if he's trying to scratch me, but he pushes his metacarpal pad onto my knuckles. It feels really strange. That's great, Kibs. Really unique. Yeah, so anyway, I've got a lot of stuff to be getting on with. Important business stuff. I'll have to catch you later, human. I feel a bit taken aback by a sudden change of mood. Okay, Kibbles. I'll get on with this manga then. We can discuss it soon. Yeah, sure. See ya. I sit down on the tree stump and get stuck into my new comic when I hear, "Fill your hands, you son of a gun!" I look up to see that Kibbles has crept around the far side of the trees to ambush me. I spring into action, falling on to my knees behind my tree stump. You wouldn't shoot an unarmed cowboy, would ya? You yellow-bellied snake! He momentarily lowers his paws. What? I seize my opportunity. Pew pew! Gotcha! I shoot my finger guns at him. Nah, I dodge! You can't dodge a bullet. Kibbles jumps into a roll and shoots his paw guns at me. No, you got me. I can't believe this is how it ends. I grab my chest and stagger onto the floor, doing a very good performance, if I do say so myself. That's what you get when you mess with the sass. Oh god. I dart my head up. The what? Oh, nothing. What did you just call yourself? I didn't say anything. The sass slinger? No, I don't know what you're talking about. You're boring me, human. I'm going now. No, I mean, that's really cool. I want a name too. Kibbles looks surprised. I get off the floor and dust myself down. How about the sass slinger and his sidekick, Banter Bomb? The Banter Bomb? Yeah! That's really embarrassing. Okay, well, I'll think about it and get back to you, Kibbles. This has been so fun. See you later, Bants! He blows imaginary gun smoke from each of his paws and swaggers off into his bush. I feel childishly happy. Okay. Ah, Kibbles. Ooh, an actual scene. I decided to catch up on some R&R, like the professor keeps telling me to, so I've come down to the jetty where Zane usually sits. Today isn't a delivery day, and as I was hoping, he's nowhere in sight. I sit with my legs dangling over the edge and take out my sketchbook and pencils. I haven't done this in ages. It's so peaceful. I can get lost in my own little world when I'm drawing. I'm doing a couple of landscapes, the mountain range over in the distance, the trees of the forest, but nothing is really grabbing me. Then as I'm daydreaming, staring into the water, I notice patterns from the ripples form on the surface. They're unusual. I suppose because of the magnetic pull. The effect is beautiful. I end up sitting for over an hour just trying to capture it on my page. Interesting. Alrighty. Let's do some recon. Recon 1. There's something the professor is hiding from me. I know just the cats for the job. Do 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 do. Ooh, what? There's a trapdoor in the lab? This is news. There's a trapdoor in the floor of the lab that is completely off limits. I've spied the professor going in and out a couple of times, but he always keeps it locked and it's never mentioned. Well, of course, he uses a key card to enter, but as far as I'm aware, there are no copies. Strange, though, having a trapdoor in a tent, let alone special high-tech security. I can't help wondering what on earth could be down there. Oh my goodness. That's a development. I don't know if it's the catification or this environment, but my curiosity has really started to get the better of me recently. I've spent some time ruminating and have finally formulated a plan on how to get past the trapdoor and into whatever is beneath it. But this is more than a one-person job. I need to find an accomplice. I made my way down to the beach to a familiar sight at this time of day. Snooty Booty, McMurphy, and Kibbles are reclining in the afternoon sun. The gang's all here. Get you, count. There's only 3 of us. I didn't mean it literally, Kibbles, but it's good to catch you. I need a willing volunteer to help me on my mission. Chesty, my dear, charmed though I always am to see you, you really do have a particular skill for interrupting one's beauty sleep. Now, if you could just move slightly to your left, you're casting a shadow. I shift my position and lower my expectations. Oh, that's Snooty Booty in a nutshell, and I love it. We don't interact with her enough after we romanced her. And this may not go as smoothly as I hoped. How about it, Murph? Fancy going on an adventure? Ah, Kata, you must know Cat's a bit better than that by now. You're going to have to give us all the details before you get any of us to agree to anything. Okay, how about this for intrigue? I've discovered a trapdoor in the ground of the main lab. Yeah, what about it? Oh, you know about it already? Obviously, it's not exactly hidden. So what's down there? Don't know, don't care. Well, the professor goes down there, Carter, and you can't blame us for not wanting to keep him company. Not that we'd be welcome. Come on, guys, aren't any of you slightly curious? I already have a plan figured out. All I needed someone smart, stealthy, and skillful to be my partner in crime. Ah, Carter, there are many things I could do for you, but going into the professor's territory is not one of them. I'm surprised at you, McMurphy. I thought you at least would be lured by the thrill of the unknown. Unknown by an eye. Whatever the professor is hiding down there can't be good. That much we know. I don't even know why you asked us. How can a bunch of cats help you? Oh, I'm glad you asked that, Kibbles. In brief, I have already worked out that the door is opened by an automated mechanism. When the boss walks through the door, it just closes and locks behind him instantly. Almost instantly. It's your job to prevent that mechanism from making contact. Obviously, but how? I will sneak you into the lab in my backpack, and when the professor is exiting the trapdoor, I will distract him while you make a break for it. And using your epic weapon as a tool, prevent the door from fully sealing. Oh yeah, my weapon. And that would be your pebble. Kibbles looks like he's about to scarp her, and I know I have to make a move quick. I open my rucksack. Indy Pop. I knew you'd be the bravest cat of them all. McMurphy flashes me a wink and nudges Kibbles forward. Valiant and brave as ever, Kibbles. You're better men than me. Kibbles gulps and slinks into my backpack. I head back to the lab before he can change his mind. Oh, Kibbles. Now you've got to be as quiet as you can. A muffled voice comes from inside my bag. Big Chesty, your job is really boring. Oh. Kibbles, my job isn't waiting around for people to go through trapdoors all day. What exactly is your job? Well, it varies from day to day. Most of the time I'm looking after the cats. A friendly tabby called Oscar meows from his cage, as if he knows what we're talking about. Other days I might receive a delivery of samples, and have to run extensive tests and log the information. Hey, Chesty, your job is really boring. Shh. I cut him off as the trapdoor begins to open, and I get my backpack and elbow as the professor emerges. Ah, good day, Chesty. Beginning on the new samples, are we? Always good to get a head start. Oh, yes, sir. I actually wanted to ask your opinion on this one. As I walk the professor over to my workstation, Kibbles has already leapt out of my bag and darted through the trapdoor just before it closes. Actually, I see what I've done. I misread the 8 for a 3. Swear I'm not dyslexic. At least, now it all makes sense. Sorry to waste your time, Professor. Oh, no worries, Chesty. Say, may I ask when the last time was that you visited the optician? It's just before I came to the island. Everything was perfectly normal, sir. Jolly good. Just checking. The professor pushes his specs onto the bridge of his nose and wafts out the room. I breathe with a sigh of relief and run over to Kibbles. He has wedged the small rock inside the rims so that I can just pull the heavy door open. Well done, comrade. I knew you were the cat for the job. Kibbles looks proud in spite of his fear. Victory or death! I leap down to join him, leaving the pebble wedging open the door above our heads. Immediately, I can make out a staircase in the gloom, taking us further underground. By the time we reach the last step, the temperature has changed noticeably, and I realize my teeth are chattering. Don't be scared, Chesty, I'll protect you. Thank you, Kibbles. I fumble along the wall for a light switch. As soon as the lights come up, I cannot help but gasp. What? In front of us is a set of steel cabinets. The light glints off them and forces my eyes into a squint. This place reminds me of something, but I cannot think what. The drawers and cabinets are neatly labeled, each explaining what is contained within. Gallbladder, claw, front left, parotid gland. There are hundreds of these, row upon row. I open a drawer labeled claw rear right. It's what I feared I would find. Boxed claw samples, each labeled with a name, number, and some notes about that particular subject. Age, weight, breed, coloring. Ah! Every component that makes up a cat is laid out neatly in front of us. As a scientist, I'm used to seeing animal parts, but there's something different about this place. The sheer volume is overwhelming. Cat after butchered cat. It's mortifying. I feel sick. I know what this place reminds me of. A morgue. What the hell is this? Is this what they are doing to the cats that die here? I wonder if they're even waiting for them to die, but I keep my thoughts of that to myself. I go through the notes that Popper left on top of the cabinet. It looks like they're harvest seeds from the cats that died during testing so they can study the effects of various compounds on each of the specimens. Neither Kibbles nor I feel curious anymore. We decide to close this particular door behind us. Holy shit!
Yep.
Holy shit! This is not... That's not something I was expecting. Kibbles, how about we do something goofy to make up for it? I've had a busy morning today, so I'm rewarding myself with a longer lunch break. I use the extra time to return what has become my favorite reading spot in the forest, to finish Sakaru. Kibbles was right, it's fantastic. I am enjoying it so much more than I expected. I'm not usually a fan of manga that is excessively bloody. My tastes tend to be more benign. This was an exception. The gore was so relevant to the individual characters in the overarching story that it felt entirely justified. And probably quite pretty. I read the final page, close the issue, and inhale loudly. What an ending. I can hardly believe that the main character died. It's so sad, yet entirely authentic. I can't see how anybody could have escaped a situation like that. My thoughts are interrupted by the sound of rustling nearby. I open my eyes. Hey, Kibbles. Kibbles stumbles out of the bushes again. He's holding an adorable little satchel, which is shaped like a penguin. Penguin! Hello, Chesty. Have you read Sakaru then? Yes, I just finished it now. It was so disturbing, but in the best possible way. Yeah, the body horror bits are epic. You want it back? I hand Kibbles the comic book. He examines it closely, clearly looking for any signs of damage or wear. After a while, he seems satisfied. He opens the satchel and carefully places it inside. At the same time, he takes out 3 more comics and presents them to me. You should try these now. They're on another level. If you want to be taken seriously, you've got to read them. I struggle to understand who I should be trying to get to take me seriously. I give up. Okay, great. What do you have for me? First, this is Hakurashi. It's about a kid who finds a puppet that lets him control his parents. Ooh! This one is called Hungry Sparrow. The artwork is sick. There's this character called the Icebreaker. He's a polar bear. And this last one is Kuchi Osubome. It's probably my favorite. Oh, wow, Kuchi Osubome. You've heard of it? I've read it. It's awesome, isn't it? Well, I actually couldn't stomach it, but I don't know how well Kibbles will take that. Do I lie to spare his feelings, or is there no point in pretending, babe?
No point in pretending, I think.
Double check.
Don't pretend.
Okay. To be honest, it was a bit much for me. Gibble suddenly looks very serious. He reminds me of my lecturers in uni when I answered a question wrong, but they didn't want to come right out and say it was wrong. In what way much? I think it's a bit relentless, Zagor. It's not relentless, it's integral. Really? I felt the scene where Kata eats that slug was just gratuitous. Totally the wrong place for something so gut-churning. What? Kata never eats a slug. You must be thinking of something else. No, it's right after me who brings her fruit basket. She opens up a banana and the slug is inside. I remember the fruit basket, but no slug. He pulls a comic out of its protective sleeve and starts looking through the pages. Here's a fruit basket, and it goes straight into the train scene. No slug, see? Oh, I see what the problem is. This is the shorter version. The slug scene must be in the extended edition. Extended version? Yes, I've got it back at camp. I can lend it to you if you like. Swapsies! Kibbles looked upset for a moment, but quickly composed himself. Oh, well, I've heard the extended version is way too long. It's probably why you didn't enjoy it. Fixing is much better on the standard edition. You're probably right. You have better knowledge than me on this stuff. He looks super happy and prances around me for a few seconds, catching imaginary insects. Okay, Kibbles. Can I still borrow Hungry Sparrow and Hokoroshi? He pulls himself together. Oh, so you haven't read those? Not yet. I've heard Hungry Sparrow is excellent, though. I'll say nothing until you've read them. We can compare notes then. Kibbles hands me the comics and packs Kujio Subume away. Thanks, Kibbles. I'll bring them back as soon as I finish reading them. See that you do. Kibbles disappears and backwards into the bushes once again. Never breaking eye contact. Okay, so he pulls Homer Simpson. Maybe he lives in that bush? Maybe it's like the TARDIS. Ah, that's great. That's good. I love the nerd culture in this. Maybe it's like the TARDIS. Any other things besides romance that are unlocked? No recons are unlocked. Research. 10.
We've only got a little bit of time.
I know, that's why I'm going for research instead of romance. It'll be faster. Today's the day Mr. Bumble gets the all clear. He's the tough old boy. I'm looking forward to giving him. He's a tough old boy. I'm looking forward to giving him a cuddle. Aww. The professor lifts the flap of my tent and pokes his head inside. Jesty, may I have a word? Of course, sir. He lets the flap fall shut. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's still dark in my little shelter. I quickly pull my lab coat over my pajamas and make my way outside to find the professor staring out to sea. Is something wrong, Professor? Now, well, yes, I suppose something is wrong. Your Mr. Bumble is getting worse, Chesty. He's taking a turn in the night. Oh my goodness, but he was doing so well. I was going to recommend we release him this week. With older cats, this can be expected. Sudden relapse is common, and they become overwhelmed so quickly. I can't believe it. Is it something I did or didn't do? Did I miss something? No, Chesty, I trust that you have done your absolute best for him, my dear, but I'm afraid he is in a lot of discomfort now. His words cut like a knife. Oh, the thought of any animal being in pain is heartbreaking, but I've grown very attached to Mr. Bumble in the time I've been caring for him. We can do a lot of good on this island, Chesty, and it can truly be a joy to live with these beautiful animals and ensure they are well and happy, but we also have a lot of things that we don't want to. Unpleasant things, you understand? Though we always have the best interest of the cats in mind. I feel I know what's coming, but I hope I'm wrong. Popper wants to tear apart this cat. Does he relish in it? Mr. Bumble may live for a while yet, Chesty, but his every waking moment will be full of pain and suffering. It's times like these we must think about what is best for our subjects. The professor takes a deep breath. Mr. Bumble may have to be euthanized, my dear. There's no two ways about that. But I thought it may be nicer if you were the one to do it. You could say your goodbyes, stroke him, make him as comfortable as he can be, and then take away his pain with one quick injection of ketamine. Oh, that's where all the ketamine goes. Oh. So Popper's really the one killing them. Ah, that makes sense. I am frozen. I don't want to answer. You don't have to agree, but I wanted to give you the choice. He will be euthanized tonight either way. Would you like to be there? Oh my god. I would like to take Mr. Bumble's pain away. I would like to be there, but I don't want to be responsible for his death. Or I don't want to be there. It's too upsetting. What's that smug bucktooth smile going on behind here? Is there a good option? Is there just... What should I do?
Mm-hmm. What are the options?
I would like to take Mr. Bumble's pain away, i.e. you be the one to euthanize. I would be there. I would like to be there, but I don't want to be the one to, like, push the syringe. I don't want to be there. It's too upsetting.
I don't know. Maybe I would like to do it. Maybe we can get him away. Maybe hide him. Save him.
I would like to take Mr. Bumble's pain away. I think I should be the one to put Mr. Bumble to sleep. I know it's painful, but I think you've made the right decision, my dear. Let's get this over with as quickly as possible. Mr. Bumble is curled up in his crate. I'm a bit taken aback at how well he looks. I'd braced myself for a different picture entirely. I'm grateful he doesn't look as sick as he is. This cat is in good health. Popper is just horrible. Would you like me to prepare the syringe for you while you say your goodbyes? I nod. I can't muster any words. The professor begins preparing the lethal injection. I take this moment to comfort Mr. Bumble through the bars of his crate. I wonder if I pick him up, I'll never be able to let him go. I talk to him quietly. Even though he can't understand what I'm saying, I hope my voice will be a comfort to him. It's okay, my friend. Nothing bad will happen to you. Liar! I'm surprised to hear the familiar voice of Trixie, coming from the shadows in the corner of the lab. I can't believe this, I trusted you. Cough away the sob in my throat. I can't answer Trixie without raising suspicion. I defended you when people called you a traitor. I believed in you. But you're just like him, aren't you? There's nothing wrong with that cat. Mr. Bumble is as healthy as I am. You've been unwell a while, haven't you, Mr. Bumble? It's getting worse every day. It's time to do the kindest thing possible for you, even though it breaks my heart. I hope Trixie understands that I'm talking to her. She scoffs. He's fooled you too. Thought you were smarter than that. Can you not see what's going on here? The professor turns to me glumly and places the tray of supplies on the table next to the crate. The injection is ready if you finish saying your goodbyes. I hesitate, feeling the professor's shrewd eyes on me. I can't watch this. I see Trixie's shadow slink out of the tent. I think delaying things any longer would only make the situation more distressing. I need some time alone, or I'm ready to put Mr. Bumble to sleep.
I need some time alone.
Yes. I'm sorry, Professor, but could I have a few moments alone with Bumble? I'd like to brush his coat one last time. Certainly, my dear. I'll leave you to finish the procedure. And no need to report back to me tonight. Just head back to your tent, and I'll talk to you in the morning. Message me if you have any problems. The professor pokes a finger into Mr. Bumble's crate and whispers a few words that are just out of my earshot. He squeezes my shoulder paternally and leaving the lab. I immediately open the crate and hold the cat protectively to my chest. You're staying with me, boy. I whisper the words into his ear. Something in my gut tells me that the professor is listening outside the lab. We can't leave through the main entrance. We'll need to find another way out. My mind races wildly. I stroke the large cat with my free hand. His rhythmic purring helps me to concentrate better. I suddenly see an image of Trixie in my mind's eye. Where did she go? How did she get out? I search every corner of the tent for an opening or a broken stake in the ground. Finally, I find a tear in the fabric behind some of the cages, and I'm able to squeeze through it. Mr. Bumble in my vice-like grip. My body switches to autopilot and takes me to the only place I can think to go. Trixie's cave. Ah. The cave is unusually dark and cold. She must be out. I write a short note explaining that I couldn't go through with the euthanasia and that I'll be back at the lab covering my tracks tonight. I use one of her minerals, Floopy Butt, as a paperweight. and make sure Mr. Bumble is settled and sleeping before I make my way back to the tent. Huh. Research 14. Achievement unlocked. Save Mr. Bumble. We saved Mr. Bumble.
Save Mr. Bumble.
My goodness. Well, I'll leave it at this. The antidote is at 75% now, by the way. Pretty damn cool. The beaker's just getting more and more full. Can't wait. Anyways, that should do it for this stream of Purrfect Date. We hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. And Andrew, do you want to take it away?
What?
I'm in the middle of the outro.
I space out. Leave me alone. Something Bell. Something. We stream Thursday, Sunday. He streamed by himself. Blah blah blah. Okay, we go. Bye now. Bye.
Oh my god, babe. Oh, and by the way, we have a podcast. You can find it at anchor.fm/2GaysDragcast.
We've been doing it. It's just now officially a podcast.
Yes. You can also find it on YouTube. So if you don't want to go into another website or application or whatever, feel free to check out my channel. It is in a playlist. We are currently going over a review of Season 3 of Dragula. She's the killer queen. Anyways, yes, so feel free to check that out if you are into that. Or maybe not. Maybe we could get you into it. Have fun. I know we do. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take care. This has been Guys with and
Hello.
Name, babe?
Zulu, Queen of the Dwarf People.
Okay. Hello, I am Zulu, Queen of the Dwarf People. Ugh, what was that voice I even slipped into?
I don't know, but I hated it. Goodbye, everybody.
Hello, this is Zulu, Queen of the Dwarf People. Oh, God. I hate that, too.
Goodbye.
Anyway, thanks.
And stop doing it. Goodbye.
Until next time, take care. Bye. What did they even do?
That was terrible.